Hello and I welcome you all. Khalistan is very heated topic and let me be very clear that I support Khalistan. I support the demand of Punjabi community in Canada about Khalistan. I support their demand for referendum about Khalistan. Punjabi community were once the empire builders. They fought with the Mughals. They fought centuries of operation suppression by Mughal forces. They fought the Muslim invaders and they successfully protected Indian states of that time. But we have also seen their operation in independent India. We have seen lakhs of refugees who entered India from Pakistan during 1947 partition. We have seen how they lost their empire, the empire that once stretched from Afghanistan to Ravi, Satluj. We have seen how they lost their important cities like Multan, Sialkot, Gunjranwala, and most important religious and cultural city Lahore. They have lost their political city Lahore, and everyone was silent at that time. Punjab has lost its half of the part, and Punjabi people were once the who suffered the most. They lost their religious shrines, and now they are applying for visas to just go and see those shrines. This is what happened with Punjab. This is what happened with Sikh community of India. Recent issues that we are seeing in Canada. Who are these people? These people are the same people who migrated from India in search of jobs, in search of better lifestyle, livelihood. They went there and made the Canada their new home. But what's happening there? We are watching the television and we are seeing there are Khalistani protests. There are so many protests. But we never see the racial discrimination faced by Canadian Sikhs in those cities. We never talk about that. We never talk about the racial discrimination happening in Toronto, Virginia. We never talk about that. The Indian Punjabi community who settled there and became the Canadian citizen, they are facing racial slurs like Pajits. Whole of United States and Canada call them Pajits. Pajits mean those people who poop and pee on the streets. This is what people are mocking about Punjabis in Canada, and we all need to notice that. We all need to speak about that. We have seen the growth of white supremacism in Canada. We have seen how it takes over Vancouver. Indian women's from Punjabi community, they are abused on the streets. They are mocked as smelling like curry and cow piece. That is what happening in Canada. And no one talks about that. We just talk about Khalistan separatism. We don't talk about the real issue that is in Canada, that these immigrants face every day in every walk of life. Punjabi men are branded as truck drivers. They are branded as waiters, sweepers, laborers, drugs mafia, land mafia, and so many things that are very derogatory to Indian community living in there. And you might be thinking, no, you are taking Indian side. No, I am not taking Indian side. I am taking the side of people of Indian origin who are facing racial discrimination in Canada. They don't talk about that. What we are seeing, the new Khalistani movement in Canada. Many Indians here on Twitter and everywhere opposing that idea. Yes, you might be correct on your point, but we must not forget that these people who are oppressed already in there, the demand for Khalistan, why not support them? Support them to make Khalistan in Canada, make Khalistan in Ontario, carve out the provinces of Ontario, British Columbia, Vancouver, and Brampton. Carve these provinces. These provinces are Sikh dominated. They are Punjabi dominated, Hindu dominated. Carve these provinces and make Khalsa land. Khalsa land in Canada. Khalistan in Canada. Khalistan in British Columbia, Ontario, Vancouver, Brampton. Whoever living in Canada, they need to demand. They need to demand freedom from English laws. Those Anglo-English laws that discriminate on the basis of a skin color. People of racial origin, they are discriminated by these laws. These English laws does not understand the multicultural ethos of different society. They don't know how the Indian origin people, especially Punjabis, live. They don't understand the religious sentiments attached to it, and they never respect the religious sentiments of minority, especially the Sikh community who are residing in Canada. The Sikh community always, in fact, since the first migration, they have faced racism. We must not forget the Komagata Maru incident that has brought so many misery to Canadian people, Canadian Sikhs. And we also must not forget the incidents that happen on regular basis against Punjabi men and women. The Punjabi men who wear turban, their turban are snatched. They are branded terrorists on airports, security checkup, and everything, every level of harassment that happens in Canada. No one talks about that. The Sikh community here in India, they got the religious rights to keep kripan. Kripan means dagger, curved dagger or curved knife, you can say. They don't have that right in Canada. They cannot keep those religious weapons with them in Canada. They have no autonomy, no respect for their religion, nothing. They got nothing in Canada. And you might be considering why I am demanding and why I am supporting that. I am supporting Khalistan issue in Canada independence of Sikh people from Canadian land, because Canada is not the patriarchal property of white Englishmen and white European descendants. Canada was inhabited of Red Indians who are no longer living there, and even living then in minority. Canada is a conquered land, and every immigrant who ever come to that part of land, they have all the rights on that land to settle, reside, and peacefully cohabitate. They have all the rights. And demanding separate nation, carving out from Canada is no treason, no separatism ideology. They are not getting their rights. They're not getting their religious freedom in Canada. So they have the right to carve out. If you go on Twitter, just check the facts about Canadian racism. You will be surprised to see that almost every white supremacist, every white community on online platforms, they hate Canadian Sikhs. They called them Pajits, a smelly, curry flavored. These are the term branded by those Englishmen and mocked all over the world by those slangs. We have also seen the hypocrisy of Liberal Party of Canada, the Liberal Party that claimed to be bringing immigrants from all over the world. They have discriminated Canadian Sikhs. They have raised the propaganda of Khalistan in India and diverting the attention from real issue, that is bringing more people in Canada from India, from Punjab area. The Liberal Party has destroyed the relation with Indian authorities and impacted the immigration policy. Now, very few people from India can possibly go to that part of land because of tight scrutiny, no visa. So these are the real issue. And the Canadian leader Jagmeet Singh, who support Khalistan, he seems to be blinded by the Liberal Party, the Justin Trudeau. He just blinded him and suppressed the immigration of Indian Sikh community in Canada. He successfully achieved that target, and we are here playing Sikh and Hindu and blah blah. Recent attack in Brampton Hindu temple, it was possibly all the manufactured agenda of those leaders, those hypocrites who are running and claiming to be the leader of these communities. They are almost blinded. Now, I think it's the high time we all must understand the propaganda agendas of these white supremacists. No matter who is liberal, who is conservative, they all have the similar agenda. They all hate you guys. They all hate the people of color residing in those lands. They call you leech, parasite, and that is all true. So I will just urge you, don't fall in the propaganda. If you want to demand Khalistan, I fully support you. Demand that in Canada, carve out Ontario, carve out British Columbia, carve out Vancouver, Brampton, and demand separate electorate. Separate electorate, because only you guys know what your religion, how an Englishman, how a Frenchman, how they can know about your faith. They can never understand that. So demanding separate electorate is protection of your religion, your faith, your worship. And it's your also legal right, your right as a resident of that country, as a citizen of that country. Demand separate electorate in Canadian House of Commons. The Senate, you need to demand that. Canada on paper is a secular country, but in reality, it's a white supremacist country. And you people, as a citizen of that country, as a citizen of Canada, from Indian origin, from Punjabi background, you need to ask for separate electorate. Choose your own leaders. They will decide your future. They will raise the issue of Khalistan in more decent way, and they will possibly help you carve out your Khalistan, Khalsa land across those conquered land, those colonial lands, whether it is Canada or Australia. Demand your rights in that part. Make your Khalistan agenda even bigger. Make it such a large that Khalistan, that sun never set in Khalistan. Make it that large. Spread it across 3 continents: Australia, Europe, Canada, North America. Spread that agenda. Yes, if you work on this principle, we will fully support the referendum of Khalistan. We will fully support your idea everywhere. So do it. And that is all for today, guys. Bye. Thank you.